Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. Longines is a brand that I believe has so much value when it comes to vintage watches, but also the modern line of Longines. And I thought I would discuss one of the watches that we recently got in for our shop, and that is this Longines Mainliner. Already you can see that this is definitely a unique looking watch. It's not something that you are going to see every single day on someone's wrist, and within the vintage watch world you don't see a lot of watches with this very unique case shape, and that's something that I really loved about this watch, and that's why again I think this and other Longines watches have so much value. And so what I thought I would do is I would give you guys a little bit of a close-up on this watch and talk you through some of the distinct features. This is not going to be about the history of this watch. I want to make sure that I create a separate video for that where I can kind of go a little bit more in depth into some of the interesting things about this specific watch, because like I said, you don't see a watch like this very often. So I'm going to go, what I'll do is I'll switch perspectives so you can get a better view at this watch. And if you want to check this watch out on our website, be sure to head over to lifeonthewrist.com/shop, and you'll be able to see this watch in all its glory. I'll put a link in the description to this specific one, so no worries there. So I'll stop talking and I'll switch perspectives so you can check out this watch. Alright, so welcome to the in-depth look at this Longines Mainliner from the 1940s. Like I said, this is a very unique looking watch, and that's one of the reasons why I think we're really excited to get it into our store. Like I said, from the 1940s, this is the watch here. You can see it has this very unique, the first thing that's very obvious about this watch obviously is the cage. The cage of this watch is something that's very unique. So just to kind of give you some basic information about this watch, manufactured in the 1940s, the watch itself is 14 karat gold, yellow gold plating. You can see beautiful hue on this watch. The watch itself, the dial of the watch is only 30 millimeters in diameter, but if you look from basically the top of the cage to the bottom of the cage, this watch measures 40 millimeters. So it still can sit fairly nicely on your wrist, especially because the cage is slightly curved, so it's going to hug your wrist really nicely and sit quite flat. But at the same time, it does look a little bit smaller, being that the dial itself is only 30 millimeters. Something that's very unique about this specific version, which is quite rare within the Mainliner kind of line of watches that were manufactured, is this very interesting bezel. This is a fluted bezel, and most of the Longines Mainliners that you come across don't actually have that bezel. I've seen probably about 2 or 3 of them, including this one, that have this type of bezel on it. So that's some basics about this watch. Just looking at the aesthetics of the watch, you can see that there is definitely some patina on this dial. You can see the dial itself has faded from that white color to this kind of nice cream color. You can see a little bit of a mark at 3 o'clock and some on that hour hand, but still, it's a really good looking vintage watch that I think has a lot of personality. I did say that this watch was gold plated. You can see some of the gold plating is coming off on the outsides of the cage, but nothing substantial that really is too much of a problem. And so you can see here I have this on just my brown leather strap, but this specific watch comes with this completely new strap here. It's just a very generic brown leather strap, and hasn't been used. I decided to take it off because I think the new owner will probably want something completely new, but gold buckle and completely new brown leather strap. What I can do now is I'm going to show you kind of how time adjusts. This watch is running on the Longines a 10L movement, so it's just hour seconds with that sub-seconds dial, and you can see the gear ratio is not too bad, and it's not very difficult to change the time. The crown is a little bit smaller. It's a smaller watch, so I normally take it out on the reverse side, but still very good looking watch, and that sub-second dial just ticks away really nicely. And so, you know, like I said, kind of like going into my thoughts about this watch, I really love the fact that it has a very unique look to it. Let me put it on my wrist really quickly. I love the fact that it is a little bit smaller, but it has a really unique case shape. So you can see this watch on my wrist. Like I said, it's going to fit a little bit smaller than some other watches and probably look a little bit smaller on someone's wrist. But at the same time, like, I mean, just look at the cage. It's so unique. And like, think about this with some very interesting outfits. Like, this is like the perfect dress watch where you're not going to see someone wearing a watch that looks identical to this. I love the way that it kind of hugs my wrist and really just looks absolutely incredible. I always thought that it was interesting that this part of the cage is kind of curved, kind of goes with the curvature of the of my wrist as well. But yeah, nothing. I literally cannot complain when I wear this watch on my wrist. I think what's interesting about this watch is like, okay, I have this watch which is a little bit smaller, probably would be the ideal dress watch if I'm completely honest. If I'm looking at going to black tie events, this is like almost, it feels like a James Bond watch. I know a lot of the times when the dial is covered, that's how most people describe it, like a James Bond dress watch to be, even though he wears an Omega Seamaster. But I mean, if you compare it to something like this Omega, you know, you're looking at something completely different. Very, very different feel, but absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this case here, this is a 35 millimeter case. This is 30 millimeters across, 40 millimeters from the top lug to the bottom lug. So very, very different feel, but I mean, it's still absolutely incredible. So, I mean, just look at it. I will say if you have a hard time reading dials, this might not be the best watch for you. It is, like I said, a little bit smaller, but still a great looking watch nonetheless. This is listed on our store, so if you are interested in this watch, be sure to head over there to check it out. I've got some more pictures there, and I want to kind of do some more research on the history of this watch, so I really give it a nice in-depth look into this watch. I think it's important that you guys are kind of knowledgeable about why this watch was produced, etc., etc. So this was really just to take a look at some of the aesthetics of this watch. Another thing that I really like about this watch is how the Longines logo as well as the hour markers are applied. I think it gives the dial a little bit more depth as well. So a really beautiful watch, and one that I was really excited to get for our store. So if you are interested in it, you can go check it out on our store. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us about this specific Longines Mainliner. So with that said, I'll take you guys back so we can wrap up the video. Cool, so I hope you guys enjoyed looking a little bit in depth into this Longines Mainliner. It is a really, really beautiful watch and something a little bit different. Yeah, it's a little bit smaller on your wrist, so it's not going to have as much presence as something like a modern watch would have, but at the same time, I think this is a really unique watch that would add a little bit of flair to anyone's collection who would end up having it. And also, if you want to know about classic or classy, this is exactly what you should be looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this video where we went in depth on that. If you have any questions about the watch, or you know some very interesting facts about the Longines Mainliner or something that looks similar, be sure to put it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button for us, for the YouTube algorithms, so these videos can get to the right people. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.